You're watching Dark Terror Files, where the stories aren't just told, they linger. Where are you listening from? Alone in your room? Driving through the dark? Drop a comment. I want to know who's out there.
I don't know how long I'd been driving that night. Hours, maybe longer. The rain hammered against the windshield, blurring the road until it all looked the same. Endless, empty. I just needed a place to pull over, to sleep for a bit. When the neon sign appeared through the mist, flickering Pine Hollow Inn, vacancy. It felt like a small mercy. A part of me wanted to keep driving, ignoring the ache in my bones, but exhaustion, cold, and that stubborn human hope for rest pulled me in. I didn't know I was driving straight into my own nightmare. If I had kept going just a few more miles, maybe I would have lived a different life. The parking lot was nearly deserted, puddles rippling under the downpour. The Pine Hollow Inn looked tired, a relic from another time peeling paint, sagging roof. But at that moment, it was the most beautiful thing I'd seen. I grabbed my bag and dashed inside, my shoes sloshing with each step. Behind the counter stood a young man, maybe mid-20s, with a slender frame and a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. His name tag read Dennis. He asked if I was traveling alone. I said yes and instantly regretted it. "You'll be safe here," he said, handing me the key to room 6. His smile lingered a little too long. The room smelled faintly of mildew. The walls were thin, the carpet threadbare. But the bed looked passable, and exhaustion drowned out any second thoughts. I locked the door, threw my bag onto the chair, and collapsed onto the mattress. In the distance, I thought I heard laughter, faint, almost childlike. I told myself I was just overtired, but something in me stayed tense, coiled tight. Minutes later, I heard a soft click. I turned toward the door. It was ajar, just slightly, a dark, gaping mouth. I knew I had locked it. I was sure. Shaken, I checked the room. Everything looked undisturbed except a crooked painting on the wall. Moving it aside, I found a small, circular hole drilled into the plaster. I told myself it was just old damage, but in my gut, I knew someone had made that hole for tonight. I shoved the painting back and pushed a chair against the wall, my hands trembling. I was drifting towards sleep when the room phone rang, jarring me awake. "Hello?" I croaked. A woman's voice whispered urgently, "Don't trust him." Before I could respond, the line went dead. I sat there in the dark, holding the receiver, my breath shallow, my mind racing. Who was she? How did she know I was here? Curiosity and fear wrestled inside me. I cracked the door open and peeked down the hallway. In the dim light, I saw Dennis standing alone in the lobby, arguing with someone unseen. His voice rose angry, pleading, then fell to a whisper. It was like he was talking to a ghost, or maybe to himself. Then he turned, and I saw the glint of a kitchen knife in his hand. Slow, deliberate steps, heading straight toward room 6. I slammed the door and locked it, my heart pounding so loudly it drowned out the rain. I'd heard stories about gut instincts saving lives. That night, it wasn't instinct. It was survival screaming through my veins. I didn't think. I grabbed my backpack and threw open the window. Cold rain slapped my face as I climbed out, scraping my hands on the rusted frame. I hit the ground running, not daring to look back. The night swallowed me whole, and I let it. As I sprinted past the main house behind the motel, something made me glance sideways. Through a cracked window, I saw her, An old woman, gray-haired and pale, sitting stiffly in a rocking chair, her eyes locked onto mine wide. Desperate, pleading. Then she vanished, like a flicker of a flame. I didn't stop to question it. I just kept running. I flagged down a patrol car about a mile up the road. Wet, wild-eyed, half incoherent. I spilled out my story. The deputy's face drained of color when I mentioned the motel. That place was shut down years ago, he said, his voice low. I stared at him, my stomach twisting. He didn't believe me. Or maybe he believed me too much. We drove back together. The motel stood silent, its sign dead and dark, windows boarded up. We kicked the door to the lobby open inside. Dust and decay blanketed everything. Room 6 didn't even have a bed anymore. The walls were bare, the painting gone. No hole, no Dennis, just an empty shell of a place that shouldn't have been open. In the house behind the motel, the deputy found a trapdoor beneath the floorboards. It creaked open to reveal stairs descending into darkness. At the bottom, they found her a woman's body, mummified by time, still dressed in a faded housecoat. Her gray hair was brittle, her face frozen in a silent scream. I didn't need to see her to know it was the woman from the window. No trace of Dennis. No record of anyone by that name working there. The police pulled the security footage. I was the only person who had entered the motel that night. Alone. The key to room 6 was still in my pocket. Cold and heavy. But the lock it fit was rusted shut. They said it hadn't been opened in years. Weeks passed. Then the phone calls started. Always around 2:00 a.m. Always the same whisper. Don't trust him. At first, I thought it was my mind playing tricks, but when I unplugged my phone, and it still rang, I knew she wasn't done warning me. I moved twice, changed my number. The calls kept coming. Sometimes, I'd hear that faint, childlike laughter in the background. Sometimes, when I drive past forgotten stretches of highway and see abandoned signs swallowed by the trees, I wonder if he's still out there, or if he's found someone new to smile at. Many months later, on another long drive, I saw it again. A neon glow flickering from a crumbling building in the distance. Pine Hollow Inn. Vacancy. I didn't stop. I pressed the gas pedal harder, my heart pounding against my ribs. If you ever see a flickering neon sign promising shelter in the middle of nowhere, maybe it's better to keep driving. You might not survive checking in. We thought it was over when we left that old farmhouse, packed our bag, locked the door, and swore we'd never look back. We were wrong. Something followed us home. Muddy handprints appeared on our clean white walls. Whispers echoed in the dead of night. If you've ever felt something brush past you when you're alone, don't turn around. It's standing right behind you. A fresh start was what we needed, after everything at the farmhouse. We found a new place, bright, modern, no dark history. The kind of house you see in magazines. My wife, Sarah, smiled for the first time in months. My daughter, Lily, ran through the empty rooms, laughing. Even Mom, who'd been through so much, seemed lighter. We believed the weird stuff was behind us. That first night, we slept soundly. Or so we thought. It started small. The living room light flickered for no reason. I'd flip the switch, and it'd steady then blink again when I walked away. At night, I'd hear footsteps echoing down the hall. Slow, deliberate, like someone pacing. Sarah said it was the house settling. Old pipes, creaky floors. We were exhausted from the move, imagining things. That's what I told myself. But deep down, I wasn't so sure. The next morning, I woke up to a sting on my arm. Long. Red scratches ran from my elbow to my wrist. Deep, like claw marks. Sarah frowned. Asked if I'd rolled into something sharp. Lily suggested a cat, but we didn't have one. I laughed it off, probably scraped myself unpacking. But when I showered, the marks burned like they were fresh. That night, I checked the locks twice. I woke up at 2 a.m., heart racing. A whisper, soft and sharp, right by my ear. Words I couldn't make out, like a radio stuck between stations. I froze, eyes scanning the dark. Sarah was asleep next to me. The house was dead silent. I held my breath, waiting. Nothing, just my pulse hammering in my ears. I didn't sleep again that night. Around 3 a.m. a few nights later, I heard at children's laughter, faint but clear, coming from downstairs. It bounced off the walls, playful but wrong. We don't have kids that young. Lily's 12, and she was asleep. I crept to the stairs, gripping the banister. Outside, rain pounded the windows. The laughter stopped as I reached the bottom step. The house felt heavier, like it was holding its breath. One night, I heard Lily crying. I rushed to her room and found her curled up in bed, pointing at her closet. The door was wide open, and the air inside was freezing, my breath fogging up. I checked inside, nothing but clothes and boxes, but the air smelled like wet dirt and rotting grass. I told Lily it was just a bad dream. She didn't believe me. Neither did I. Mom started changing. She'd always been warm, talkative. Now she was quiet, staring into dark corners for hours. Sometimes, I'd catch her muttering in a low, gravelly voice, words I didn't recognize. Not English, not anything I'd heard before. When I asked her about it, she'd blink, confused, like she hadn't noticed. I started locking my door at night. I woke up one night to a shadow at the foot of my bed. It was Mom, standing there, still as a statue. I called her name, my voice shaking. She looked up, her eyes white, empty. Then she lunged, a guttural snarl ripping from her throat. I scrambled back, hitting the headboard. Sarah woke up screaming. Mom collapsed, gasping, like she'd been snapped out of a trance. She didn't remember a thing. We couldn't ignore it anymore. We called a local pastor, Father Michael, who agreed to visit. I told him everything: the farmhouse, the scratches, the whispers. Mom. His face darkened when I mentioned the farmhouse. He asked a question that stopped me cold. "Did you bring anything with you from that place?" I froze. My stomach dropped as I realized I had... It was the mirror. An old, tarnished thing from the farmhouse's master bedroom. I'd thought it was just an antique, a cool piece to keep. I showed it to Father Michael, and his eyes narrowed. He told me about the Hollow Woman, a recluse who lived in that farmhouse a century ago. Locals said she practiced forbidden rituals, locking herself in a room with that mirror. When they broke in, she was dead, but her reflection lingered in the glass. They believed her soul was trapped inside. Some said breaking the mirror wouldn't set her free, he whispered. It would just unchain her. He looked at me, his voice heavy. "You didn't bring a mirror. You brought her?" Father Michael prepared a cleansing ritual. As he prayed, the air grew thick, oppressive. The mirror started to shake, cracks spiderwebbing across its surface. Dark liquid seeped from the fractures, pooling on the floor. I glanced into the glass and saw not my face, but hers gaunt, decayed, eyes black as voids. Her mouth moved, mouthing my name. I wanted to run, but I couldn't look away. I knew I had to destroy it. The thing in the mirror whispered, begged, then screamed threats in that same guttural voice. I grabbed the mirror, my hands shaking, and threw it to the floor. It shattered, the sound like a wail that shook the walls. The air lightened, like a storm had passed. For the first time in weeks, the house felt like ours again. We were free, or so I thought. Mom started to recover, her old self creeping back. We moved again, leaving everything behind, no keepsakes, no memories. We made a pact never to talk about it, to bury the nightmare for good. Sarah found a new job. Lily started smiling again. We built a new life, convinced it was over, one and done, forever. But last night, I woke up to someone calling my name. Soft, insistent. I crept downstairs, the house dark and still. Mom was there, standing in the living room, her back to me. I called out, but she didn't turn. Then she spoke, in that low, gravelly voice I'd hoped to never hear again. It's still watching us. I grabbed my keys and ran, heart pounding. As I drove away, I glanced in the rearview mirror. I don't know if I escaped. I don't know if I ever will. Sometimes, when I check that mirror, I swear I see her smiling. The first night, the halls were so quiet I could hear my own heartbeat. The second night, someone knocked on my door, but when I opened it, no one was there. By the third night, the knocking came from inside the walls, and I knew I wasn't alone. I just lost my job, drowning in debt. So when I saw an online ad for a winter caretaker gig at a hotel in Colorado with crazy good pay, I jumped at it. The job was simple. Stay there from October to April. Make sure the place doesn't collapse under the snow. I drove up the mountain, the wind biting at my skin. The hotel loomed ahead, an old, dark building, like time had forgotten it. Snow fell hard, blurring everything. On the gate, I noticed a rusted sign with the number 237 scratched into it. Weird. But I shrugged it off. Stepping into the grand lobby, I felt a strange chill, not just from the cold. The chandelier overhead flickered, casting weak golden light. Every step echoed, like the whole building was listening. I spotted a tiny number carved into the door handle, like someone meant to leave it there. Something felt off, a cold that sank into my bones. I told myself, "You're imagining things. It's your first day. Chill." But my heart was racing faster than I wanted. The manager sent an email with some rules that sounded like a prank. Don't go into room 237. Don't touch the mirror in the main lobby. If you hear a voice calling and see no one, don't answer. I laughed it off. Who believes this nonsense? But his voice on the phone was flat, dead serious. When I checked the email, the sent date was 3 months ago, even though I'd just gotten it yesterday. It creeped me out, but I tried to ignore it. That first night, I was in bed, trying to sleep, at exactly 3:13 a.m. I heard a soft knock on my door. My heart pounded. Who's knocking in the middle of nowhere? I opened the door, hands shaking. The hallway was empty. Not a soul, just darkness and cold. On the door, I saw a number scratched in, like it was fresh. I shut it, told myself it was the wind, but I didn't sleep that night. The second night, The knocking came back. Louder. Like someone was pounding. The clock still read 3:13 a.m. I ran into the hallway. The lights flickered like crazy. At the end of the hall, a blurry figure glided past and vanished. I yelled, "Who's there?" No answer. On the wall, I saw a smudged mark, like someone had scribbled something and wiped it away. My heart felt like it'd explode. This wasn't my imagination anymore. I couldn't stand the no mirror rule. I went to the main lobby, stood before the huge, dusty mirror. I looked in. That's me, right? But the reflection didn't move. Then it smiled. A cold, creepy smile, while I wasn't smiling at all. In the mirror's corner, I saw a faint scratch, like an old number worn by time. I stumbled back, pulse racing. Was the mirror broken? Or was I losing it? Curiosity got the better of me. I went to room 237, despite the warning. The door wasn't locked. It creaked as I pushed it open. A rotten stench hit me hard. The room was empty, dust coating everything, except for one thing: an ancient, decaying suitcase in the corner. On it, the number 237 was carved deep. I knew I shouldn't, but I opened it. I wish I hadn't. Inside the suitcase was a group photo from the hotel, dated 1921. Strangers in 1920s clothes. Then I saw my face, right in the middle. Not just similar, it was me. My eyes, my nose, my smile. In the photo's corner, the number 237 was scrawled messily. My hands shook. The photo slipped to the floor. How was I in a picture from 100 years ago? A brutal blizzard hit, burying every exit. The power flickered. On and off. I was trapped. Completely cut off. No phone. No internet. No one knew I was here. I found a map in the office, but every hallway seemed to spiral back to the same battered, splintered wooden door. One I swore I'd passed before. The darkness felt like it was swallowing every way out, and the hotel seemed to whisper, "You're not leaving." Then I heard whispers from the walls, saying my name, talking about a party. Kids' voices mixed with old, raspy ones. I pressed my ear to the wall, trying to make it out. "Come to the party," they said. "You belong here." On the wall, old scratches seemed to form a familiar shape, but I couldn't look too long. I shouted for them to shut up, but the whispers got louder, like they were mocking me. That night, the ballroom lights flicked on by themselves. I stepped inside and saw a 1920s gala. Shadowy figures in vintage clothes danced and laughed. A waiter appeared, offering me a drink. On his tray, a faint carving, like it had been there for years. I said no, but my arm reached out on its own to take it. I couldn't control it. They all stared, smiling, like I was one of them. I lost track of time. Every clock I checked read 3:13 a.m. Days and nights blurred together. I wrote in a journal, but by morning, the pages were filled with frantic scribbles, like someone tried writing in the dark. I started questioning reality. Was I really here, or was I dead? Stuck in some kind of hell? I looked at my hands. They didn't feel like mine anymore. The last night, the knocking was frantic. Not from the door, but inside the room. The door flew open, and there it was, my double. It stood there, grinning the same creepy smile I saw in the mirror. On its chest, a faint mark, like something carved long ago. Then it crumbled into ash, leaving the stench of room 237. I screamed, but no one heard. I had to get out, no matter what. Rescue crews came, digging through the snow to find me. They looked at me like I was a ghost. They said the hotel had been abandoned for 40 years. No one hired me. No manager. No email. Room 237. It never existed. They found me in an empty room, clutching that ancient suitcase. But I swear, I lived those days. I saw those things. And those hallways, they always led back to the same place. I left the mountain. But sometimes, at 3:13 a.m., I still hear the knocking. Last week, while unpacking, I found the 1921 photo in my bag, even though I never took it with me. My name is Elias, and I used to believe Echo Pines was just a forgotten summer camp, full of sagging tents and ghost stories kids told to feel brave. I thought the whispers in my head were exhaustion, tricks of a tired mind. I thought the kids who vanished were just lost in the woods, accidents nobody could prevent.
But the Pines, they speak at night.
Their voices curling through the dark. And what they told me wasn't just a secret, it was the truth about who I've always been. The bus to Echo Pines smells like diesel and regret, winding through Vermont's dense emerald hills. I'm 16, exiled here after the incident, a phrase my parents whisper like a curse. They won't say what I did, and I can't remember. But the weight of it clings to me like damp clothes. Stepping off the bus, the air feels wrong, too thick, like the forest is exhaling something ancient. The counselors, led by Mike, a broad-shouldered guy with a salesman's grin, chant, "Welcome to Echo Pines." Their enthusiasm feels rehearsed, their eyes scanning us like predators sizing up prey. 30 kids shuffle forward, gripping backpacks, avoiding each other's gazes. No one's laughing or swapping stories. It's like we all sense something lurking beneath the surface. Cabin 7 is a splintered box that reeks of mildew. I claim a top bunk, noticing "Get Out" carved into the ceiling. The letters jagged and desperate. Noah, a wiry kid with dark, restless eyes, sits on the bunk below, flipping through a worn comic book. "You're Elias," he says, not looking up. "Don't unpack too much. You might not last." "What? You think I'll cry for home?" I force a laugh. He meets my eyes, unblinking. "Just don't go into the woods at night." That night, I lie awake. The cabin's silence broken only by soft snores and the relentless chirping of crickets outside. It's not peaceful, it's oppressive, like the forest is screaming. I'm drifting into uneasy sleep when a whisper slithers into my mind, low and dry, like pine needles scraping stone. "Elias, you're home." I bolt upright, hard hammering. The room's dark. The other boy's asleep. It wasn't a voice from the cabin or the wind rattling the windows. It was inside me. I glance at Noah's bunk. He's awake, staring. "You heard it," he whispers, his voice barely audible. "Heard what?" I snap, trying to sound braver than I feel. "The Pines. If they call you, don't answer." His words hang in the air, heavy with warning. I want to laugh it off, but my skin prickles, and deep down, I know he's not joking. Morning brings chaos. Harper, a quiet girl with tight braids from the girls' cabin, is gone. Her bunk's empty, her backpack untouched. We're gathered for breakfast when Mike announces she ran off during last night's treasure hunt. "Some kids can't handle camp," he says, shrugging, but his eyes sweep over us, cold and calculating. At lunch, I sit with Noah. He's picking at his food, face pale, Harper didn't run, he mutters. She heard the forest. What's that supposed to mean? I ask, irritation masking my unease. She told me yesterday. Said something called her name during the game. From the trees. She looked scared. I scoff. You're saying trees took her? He doesn't answer. Just pushes his tray away and leaves. But his fear lingers, burrowing into me. A few nights later, sleep won't come. The whispers are back. Louder. Weaving through my dreams. Elias, you belong here. I slip out of the cabin, craving air, and notice a faint glow deep in the forest. Against every instinct, I follow it. My sneakers crunching on pine needles. The glow leads to a clearing where the counselors stand around a massive, gnarled oak. Its roots sprawling like veins. They're chanting in a language that twists my stomach. Guttural and wrong. Mike stands at the center, holding a knife that catches the firelight. He slices his palm, blood dripping onto the roots. One by one, the others do the same. Their faces contorted, almost inhuman in the flickering shadows. I'm frozen, breath shallow. Mike's head snaps up, his eyes locking onto mine. For a moment, they glow red, and I swear he sees me. I stumble back to the cabin, heart pounding, and lie awake until dawn. The image of that blood-soaked ground burned into my mind. The next day, I pull Noah aside after archery. What the hell's going on? I hiss, my voice low. You saw them, he says, his face ashen. The ritual. You weren't supposed to. I tell him what I saw, the blood, the chanting. He swallows hard. There are rules here, Elias. Play along. Keep quiet, or you're gone. Gone where? I press. He glances around, ensuring we're alone. Years ago, 7 kids disappeared from Echo Pine. They said they got lost. But that's a lie. The forest took them. I want to call it nonsense. But the memory of Mike's eyes stops me. Why? I ask. Noah's voice drops to a whisper.
Because it's hungry.
That night, a storm crashes over the camp, thunder rattling the cabin. I wake to find Noah's bunk empty, his comic book torn on the floor. I search the cabin. The bathrooms, nothing. Then I find a crumpled note in my sleeping bag. In Noah's scrawl, the roots go deeper than you think. Oh, he's gone. And the whispers grow louder, mocking me. Elias, you can't run. I don't sleep. Gripped by the certainty that Noah's not coming back, my mind starts to unravel. Shadows twist in the pines, forming faces that vanish when I blink. One night, I wake in the forest, not knowing how I got there, staring at a tree with branches like clawing hands. In my dreams, bodies dangle from the boughs. Harper, Noah, kids I've never seen, their eyes hollow. Screams echo from the abandoned cabin at the camp's edge. The one we're forbidden to approach. Worst of all, I see myself standing among the trees, watching me with a blank, predatory stare. My own face, but not mine. It's like the forest is peeling away who I am, showing me something older, something cruel. I'm losing my grip, and the whispers know it. Elias, let go. I try to tell Mike about Noah. He listens, his face unreadable, then laughs, cold and sharp. You're not cut out for Echo Pines, kid. That afternoon, my phone's gone, stolen from my bag. The other kids avoid me, their whispers trailing me like ghosts. I'm cut off, alone with the voices in my head. Elias, you're ours. They're not just words anymore. They're a pulse, syncing with my heartbeat. One night, Mike knocks on the cabin door. Elias, he says, his voice calm but heavy with expectation. You've been chosen. Midnight ceremony. Be there. I don't want to go, but refusal isn't an option. At midnight, I follow him to the forest's edge. The counselors wait, their torches casting long, hungry shadows. Their smiles are sharp, like they know something I don't. Under the ancient oak, Mike's voice is low, reverent. Echo Pines isn't a camp. It's a gate. The forest lives, and it feeds. Every summer, it chooses a guardian to serve it, to keep it strong. In return, you get power, eternity. He pauses, his eyes boring into mine. Or you disappear, like the others. I think of Harper's empty bunk, Noah's note, the 7 kids erased from history. I think of the whispers, the visions, the blood on the roots. I'm terrified, but I'm more afraid of dying. I'll do it, I say, my voice barely a whisper. Mike's smile is triumphant. You were born for this. They hand me a cup filled with a thick, black liquid that smells like decay and iron. Drink, Mike commands. I hesitate, but their eyes pin me in place. I choke it down, the taste burning like acid. The world fractures. I see myself running through the forest, chasing screaming kids, my hands slick with blood. My skin splits, roots erupting from my flesh, weaving into my bones. The forest's voice booms inside me. Not a whisper now, but a roar. You are us. We are you. I scream. But the sound is swallowed by the earth. I'm not just Elias anymore. I'm part of something vast, ancient, ravenous. I wake in the forest, sprawled on a bed of pine needles, my hands crusted with blood. Whose? I don't know. The camp is gone, no cabins, no kids, just silence. The counselors emerge from the tree, bowing low. Welcome back, guardian, they chant. Their voice is a hymn. I stand, and my body feels wrong, too heavy, too old. The pines hum, their whispers now a song of welcome. I'm not human anymore. I'm something else, bound to this place. Elias is gone. I'm the guardian now. The forest's hunter. Each summer, new kids will arrive, their faces bright with hope. I'll watch them, weigh them, choose which ones the roots will claim. The forest's hunger is my own, its pulse beating in my chest. I walk through the empty camp, my steps silent. The pines sing my name, their branches bowing as I pass. I am home. You think summer camp is s'mores and sing-alongs? Echo Pines is older than the hills it stands on, a predator cloaked in nostalgia. It's fed on the young and the lost for centuries, and I'm its instrument now. The whispers guide me, telling me who's next. I was chosen because I was broken, because the incident, whatever it was, left cracks the forest could slip into. Maybe you're broken too. Maybe that's why you're listening. Next time you sign up for a summer escape, read the fine print. Echo Pines is always hungry, and I'm always waiting. The forest calls, its voice clear as a bell. Come next summer, I'll be here. And maybe you will too. My name's Ryan. I was a physics grad student, buried in equations. When I got pulled into a nightmare no science could unravel. It started in an abandoned Massachusetts church, where a glowing green cylinder floated in the basement, defying every law I knew. We thought we were there to study it. We were wrong. It was studying us. It didn't just exist, it dreamed. And now, every night, it dreams through me, whispering my name. It was 2 a.m. in October, and I was wrestling with quantum mechanics when Professor Buren called. His voice was sharp, urgent. "Ryan, we've got a project." Off campus. A priest found something impossible in an old church. I laughed. "What?" "A holy magnet." He wasn't joking. He sent a video. A dim basement. A massive glass cylinder filled with green liquid, floating above the floor. No wires, no motion, just hovering. "Pack a bag." Buren said, "We leave now." The church crouched in a Massachusetts hollow, its steeple sagging under dead trees. The air reeked of damp wood and metal, like blood. Inside, it was a relic. Dusty pews, melted candles, Latin etched into the walls. Father Malone, the priest, met us, his eyes hollow. "Don't touch anything," he said. He opened a trap door to the basement. There it was, the cylinder, 10 feet tall, green liquid pulsing inside. It hummed, low and alive. Vibrating in my chest, Susan, our biophysicist, whispered, "This breaks physics." The hum sharpened as I approached. We set up in the nave cots. Sensors. Laptops trying to measure the cylinder. Our instruments glitched. Spitting errors. Exhausted, I collapsed on my cot. Then the dream hit. It was grainy, like a bad VHS. A hooded figure stood outside the church, moonlight glinting off its cloak. A mechanical voice crackled. "This is not a dream. Transmission from 1999. The scene shifted to the basement. The liquid churned. Alive. I woke up soaked, heart pounding. Susan sat upright. Brian muttered. Kelly gripped her blanket. "You saw it," I said. They didn't answer. Morning came, and Susan was off. She stood by the cylinder, staring, unblinking. The liquid surged, splashing inside the glass near her face. She convulsed. Eyes rolling back, Brian and I dragged her away. She went still, then smiled too wide, too perfect. "The Father is coming," she whispered. Buren froze. Father Malone crossed himself. The hum pulsed, mocking us. We tried to leave. Doors were bolted shut, windows barred, phones dead. I climbed the steeple and saw them. Dozens of people circling the church, motionless, staring with blank eyes. "They're not people anymore," Father Malone said. Kelly pulled me down. "We're trapped." Susan sat in the basement, writing equations in her own blood backwards. Nonsensical. Brian turned next, smiling that carved smile. Then Lisa, humming the cylinder's hum. They moved as one, synchronized. The air thickened, like drowning. My head throbbed. Kelly whispered, "It's in us." The hum came from them now. Our equipment broke. Magnetometers read negative. Clocks looped 2:47. May 2:46. 2:48. My laptop showed a 1999 timestamp. We filmed the basement. The footage showed me by the cylinder when I was asleep. My eyes too dark. A cracked mirror reflected someone else behind me. I turned. Nothing. The mirror shimmered, warm to the touch. My reflection was wrong older, hollow-eyed, screaming silently. I stumbled back. It's not a mirror. I told Kelly, it's something else. That night, I dreamed of it rippling, my older self clawing at the glass. The dream returned, clearer. The hooded figure said, "We failed. He's waking. He will cross." The cylinder shattered, red claws twisting. Alive reached from the mirror. They were thoughts. slicing my mind. I woke to Susan over me, eyes black pits. The hum was inside me. Susan broke the sacristy door. Her body bent impossibly, spine arched, arms dangling. "The vessel is prepared," she hissed. Lisa wielded a scalpel, smiling. Brian blocked the stairs. Biren yelled, "Run." I bolted to the basement, Kelly behind me. Susan's nails tore my arm. The hum clawed my mind. I wanted to stay, to fight. But fear won. I ran, hating myself for it. Kelly and I barricaded the basement. The cylinder pulsed wildly. Susan pounded the door, chanting, "He comes." Kelly deciphered Susan's equations. "The mirror's a doorway," she said. "We can stop it." The door splintered. Susan crawled in. Kelly tackled her toward the mirror. "Break it," she screamed. I lunged to follow her. Kelly, who'd shared her coffee, who'd kept me sane, but the hum pinned me, a weight in my chest. I swung a pipe. The mirror shattered. Kelly and Susan vanished in the light. The hum stopped. I collapsed, sobbing. Police found me wandering, incoherent. They said the church was empty, no cylinder, no team, just a condemned ruin. They sealed it off. No records. My laptop glitches. A video appears my dream. The hooded figure. It updates. The figure's closer. Last night, the figure was in my hallway, outside my apartment. Its hood fell just eyes. Too many. I closed my door. But now it's knocking. They say evil's not real, just a story. But I touched it. It lives in dreams, in us. The mirror's gone, but the door never closed. If you dream of a hooded figure, don't look. It knows you now. I'm Ryan. I was a physicist. Now I'm its echo. If you've dreamed of the church, don't speak of it. It hears you, and it's still dreaming. Picture this. I'm the last guy in a deserted college dorm. The lights flicker out one by one. The halls are dead silent, until I hear footsteps pacing the sealed-off floor above me. A floor nobody's touched since January. Then my phone rings. Guess who's calling? My own number. Stay with me. This is the summer break I'll never forget, and neither will you. Hey, I'm Ethan, junior, psych major at a small liberal arts college. Summer break hit, and campus turned into a ghost town. My buddies, long gone. Sipping beers at some lake house. Me, I stayed behind 3 extra days. I told myself it was to finish a paper on abnormal behavior. Truth is, I just didn't want to go home. Stanford Hall, my dorm, was a 5-story brick beast. By June, it was just me, or so I thought. The dorm manager, Carl, tossed me the keys and said, "You're the last one, kid. Lock up tight. Vagrants love empty buildings." I laughed it off. But that first night, the silence was deafening. My footsteps echoed like gunshots. I've always hated fire alarms ever since I was a kid. The sound makes my chest cave in. The 4th floor, boarded up since an electrical fire in January. Nobody's been up there in months. So why did I see a light flickering through the stairwell window at 2 a.m.? I couldn't sleep. Around 2:30 a.m., I'm scrolling X when I hear a low, lazy whistle drifting down the stairwell. It's that tune my roommate Nico used to hum non-stop. Some old jazz riff he swore was his signature. I'm a psych major. I know what auditory hallucinations are, but this wasn't in the textbooks. Nico left for Miami 10 days ago. I checked his last post was a beach selfie. So who was whistling his song? Next morning, my AirPods are gone. Left them right on my desk. Swear to God, my door's cracked open. Just an inch. No forced entry. No footprints. Nothing. I'm thinking, maybe I'm losing it. Stress can mess with your head. I've read the studies. But then I notice my trash can. Someone's crumpled up my essay draft. I didn't touch it. That night, I'm in bed, and there's this scratching, like nails dragging on concrete, right behind my headboard. It's coming from the wall that backs up to the locked electrical room. I freeze. Heart pounding. My psych professor once said curiosity kills faster than fear. That night, I believed him. I knocked twice. Knock, knock. Silence. Then, clear as day, something knocks back. Knock, knock. My brain screams it's a delusion, but my gut knows better. I had to know what was up with the 4th floor. The stairwell door was bolted. Chains welded shut. Carl said it was unsafe. End of story. But I found the security camera feed on the dorm's old app. At 1:16 a.m., while I was passed out, it caught someone walking up those stairs. Hoodie. Head down. Gone in a blink. Am I imagining this? I can't tell anymore. I'm showering, trying to shake it off. When the water turns scalding hot on its own, I jump out, cursing, and the mirror's fogged up. Then I see it words scrawled in the steam. You're not alone. My hands shake as I wipe it clean. No smudges. No prints. Just those words. The fire alarm in my head blares, even though it's silent. I tell myself it's sleep deprivation. But deep down, I'm not buying it. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Nico. Come back, I need you? I call him, freaking out. The line crackles. Then a voice not Nico's groans. Don't let him stay with you. It cuts off. I check the call log. The number's Nico's, but his phone's been offline since he landed in Florida. I know projection. I know paranoia. But this is real. I grab a crowbar from the maintenance closet and pry open the 4th floor chains. The air up there's thick, like wet dirt. Broken bulbs dangle, and one door's splintered open. Inside, there's a flickering lamp and a Polaroid taped to the wall. It's me, asleep in my bed. Taken last night. My psych training says I'm cracking. My eyes say otherwise. The room's a nightmare. A pentagram's scratched into the floor, surrounded by melted candles and hair. Human hair. There's a note in the center, handwritten. One must stay behind. My stomach twists. This isn't some prank. Something's been planned, and I'm part of it. As I back out, the ceiling creaks. Something's crawling up there. Heavy, deliberate. Then a whisper slithers down, barely human. He stayed. Now it's you. I bolt. Heart slamming against my ribs. The crawling follows. Matching my pace overhead, I'm sprinting down the halls, and every light pops off behind me. One by one, doors rattle as I pass, like someone's banging from the inside. I don't look back, I can't. Whatever's chasing me knows this place better than I do. Then the fire alarm screams, piercing my skull. I lock myself in my room, barricade the door, and pray. Cops show up at dawn. They search the 4th floor, nothing. No Polaroid. No pentagram. No note. They look at me like I'm high. But my phone still has Nico's text. Time stamped 5 months ago, before he even moved in. I know what gaslighting feels like. This isn't it. I'm leaving at sunrise. Bags packed. At 3:33 a.m. I wake up freezing. That damn whistle starts again. But it's not from the hall. It's right behind me, inches from my neck. I don't move. I don't breathe. The bed creaks like someone's sitting at the edge. They said the 4th floor's been empty since a kid died in a fire last year. No one talks about it, but I found the records on X. He was a psych major, like me, lived in my room. They say he only needs one who sees, one who knows. And this summer, I saw too much. I left that dorm, but I still hear that whistle some nights, mixed with the fire alarm in my head. So, tell me, would you stay? Share this story if it got you. And check your phone. You never know who's calling. I'm Miguel Alvarez, cameraman for Channel 9 in LA. We were sent to film a routine fire report at an old Koreatown apartment. Just another night. Right? Until the doors locked themselves, screams tore through the halls, blood dripped from the ceiling, and something alive, was watching us from the shadows. I caught it all on tape, but no one believed me. Until now. Would you? A 26-year-old Latino cameraman. I work for a small LA news station with Jenna, a sharp but jaded reporter. Late at night, we get a call about a fire at a crumbling Koreatown apartment building. We arrive with firefighters. Camera rolling. I check the battery, thinking it'll take 10 minutes tops. The air feels stale, heavy. Tenants watch silently from windows. The firefighters head to the 3rd floor, where smoke lingers but there's no fire. An elderly woman won't open her door. When they break it down, she lunges, biting a firefighter's neck. Her eyes are clouded. Her movement's unnatural. I keep filming. Heart pounding. Jenna whispers, "Something's wrong." The firefighter collapses, bleeding out. The building's exits seal shut, no explanation. Phones lose signal. Radios spit static. A frantic delivery driver yells, "They locked us in. This isn't a fire, it's a setup." I pan the camera, catching residents panicking or eerily calm. A tenant mutters about people in hazmat suits outside. Jenna tries to stay professional, but her voice cracks. My hands shake, but I keep recording. A young girl, maybe 8, collapses in the hallway. Feverish, coughing blood. Her mother sobs, saying a health team injected them days ago. Another bitten firefighter starts convulsing, then attacks his team. Jenna suspects an extreme medical quarantine. I zoom in on the girl's face. Her pupils dilate, unnaturally wide, then shift, like something beneath them is moving. Desperate, the group finds a key to the basement. Jenna and I venture down, finding an abandoned office. Papers are scattered. Medical charts, photos of patients with blackened veins, and handwritten notes about exorcisms. One file mentions a girl infected by something not of this world, kept in the building. My camera catches a child's drawing of a tall, eyeless figure. With nowhere else to go, we climb to the attic. The air is thick, the darkness alive with whispers. I hear my own voice calling my name. My flashlight catches a figure, tall, skeletal, crawling on all fours. Its face a twisted mockery of a child's. It doesn't see us, it listens. Jenna grabs my arm. Her nails digging in like claws, she's trembling, but silent. My boot scrapes the floor, and it turns. The creature lunges. I drop the camera, but it keeps recording. Grainy footage of Jenna fighting, then dragged into the dark. Her screams cut off. The creature turns, its face filling the lens, pale, eyeless, smiling. Off screen, I whisper. If someone finds this tape, don't come here. Burn it down. Alone. I scramble to the roof. The city skyline glows, mocking my isolation. I find a fire escape, but it's blocked by a sealed gate. Below, hazmat teams surround the building. Silent. Watching like scientists studying a petri dish. A tenant's voice echoes in my head. They knew this was no accident. Back in the attic, I find Jenna's notebook. She'd scribbled, "Government test. Bioexperiment." They let it out to see what happens. The creature wasn't the monster the people who locked us in were. We were the test subjects, and this camera was planted to record it all for them. The battery blinks red. I speak to the lens. Voice breaking. This is bigger than us. The creature returns. Sniffing the air, I hide. Clutching a broken pipe, I swing. Connecting with a sickening crunch, it screeches. Unnatural and piercing. I run. Camera in hand. Capturing flashes of the creature pursuing me through the attic's maze of beams. I reach a skylight. Smashing it open. The camera catches my face, terrified but defiant as I climb out. I drop the camera on the roof and keep running. The footage cuts to static, then a final frame, the camera pointing at the sky, the creature's shadow passing over. My voice, faint. Tell everyone. This wasn't just a fire report. It was a trap, a test, a nightmare caged in concrete. I'm Miguel Alvarez, and I survived to share this. If this story shakes you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Spread it. Because silence is how they get away with it. Subscribe to Nightmare Tales for more real American horror. Out here in Oregon, it's just me and Mom, wasting away in this creaky old house. I hired a nurse, Mary, Bible thumper, sweet smile. Then she whispered, "He's clawing inside you." Jamie. At night, her prayers turn to guttural chants. Mirrors show faces that aren't mine. Last night, I woke choking on salt water, claw marks, burning my throat. And there she was, Mary, hovering in my doorway, eyes like black pits, grinning like she'd already given my soul to him. Mom's dying of stage 4 lung cancer, barely clinging to life. I hired Mary from the local church hospice program. Mid-20s, soft-spoken, always clutching a worn Bible. She seems gentle, but her eyes don't blink enough, like she's staring into something alive and hungry. She lights plain white candles in every room, says they guide Mom's spirit. At night, I catch her kneeling by Mom's bed, whispering Latin prayers. Mom doesn't respond, but Mary murmurs, "Jamie." He's listening. My name. She never looks at me. The candles are everywhere now. Their flames flicker even when no one's near. I wake at 3:15 a.m., heart racing. Wax is dripping upward, defying gravity. I touch it. It's ice cold, like frozen tears. I ask Mary what's happening. She smiles. He's here. Jamie, can't you feel him? Her Bible lies open on the table, but the pages are blank, except for one word scratched in red, him. I slam it shut, but the air feels heavier. I hear whispers from the bathroom. The bathtub's full, black, salty water, reeking like a dead ocean. I didn't turn it off. Something moves in the drain, chanting my name. In a low, guttural hum, I pull the plug. But the water doesn't drain. It bubbles and screams. Mary appears behind me. He speaks through pain. She says, "You're learning." I push past her. But my reflection in the mirror lingers a second too long, smiling when I don't. In the hallway mirror, I see a man behind me. Pale, eyeless, smiling with jagged teeth. I spin around. No one's there, but my breath fogs the glass, like someone's breathing. Back, I tell Mary, my voice shaking. She grips my arm, nails biting into my skin. Don't look too long, Jamie. He hides in the light. That night, my phone buzzes. 3:33 a.m. A calendar alert I never set. Receive him. I delete it, but it reappeared, now reading. You can't run. Mom hasn't spoken in weeks, her body wasting away. Tonight. She grabs my wrist, nails digging in. Crescent marks that burn. He's beautiful. Jamie, and he wants you. Her eyes lock on the ceiling, smiling, like she sees something I can't. I pull away, heart pounding. I find Mary under the kitchen table, carving symbols, sharp lines, an open eye, a jagged circle. It's for him, she says, so he doesn't lose the door. The house feels colder. My breath frosting the air. Mary's words haunt me. I can't sleep. I Google her name, hands trembling. A 2016 forum post pops up. Beware the salt nurse. 2 patients died under her care. One survivor wrote, she uses your grief to let him in. Don't let her pray. The post vanishes as I read it. Screen glitches. I confront Mary, demanding answers. She doesn't flinch. You begged for help when your mom got sick. Jamie. That opened the door. Most break under him. You might not. Her voice cracks, like she's scared of him too. Mom is bedridden, barely moves. But today, she draws charcoal lines. A faceless figure. Hands like twisted roots. Mouth stitched shut. The paper smells like seawater. Mary pins it above Mom's bed, whispering. That's him. I try to tear it down, but Mom screams. A raw, animal sound. I've never heard from her. Her eyes, glassy, unblinking, fixed on me. I back away. The drawing's lines seem to pulse, watching. I hide it in a drawer. Next morning, it's back on the wall. I set up my phone overnight, recording my room. I need proof. Next morning, I hit play. Mary is standing over me. While I sleep, her lips move, chanting silently. Then mine move too, whispering back. His hunger is holy. I feel sick, violated. I show Mary the video, voice breaking. She just laughs, softly. You're already his, Jamie. You just don't know it yet. An hour later, the file corrupts. All that's left is static. And my voice, whispering. I wake choking, salt water flooding my lungs. I stagger to the mirror, gasping. Red claw marks, wrapped around my neck, bleeding. I scream, tell Mary to leave. Take her candles and get out. She smiles. Voices are currency. Jamie, you've spent yours. I grab my phone, dial 911. It dies in my hands. The screen flashes. Receive him. The hallway mirror cracks behind the glass. My face stares back, rotting, smiling. Not mine. Mom's bed is empty. I find her in the basement, sitting in a circle of salt, humming one endless note. Her eyes don't blink, her skin glowing faintly. Mary's carving symbols into the floor. Eyes, jagged circles. He needs a door. Jamie, she says. I try to pull Mom away. Her skin burns hot. She laughs, in Mary's voice. I run, lock my door. At 3:33 a.m. My phone buzzes. You're his now. The door handle rattles. I'm losing it, losing myself. But then, a memory hits me. Mom, healthy, laughing with me over coffee, promising we'd always fight for each other. I decide I have to fight now. I grab a knife, head to Mary's room. It's a shrine. Bones in jars, melted candles, photos of me sleeping. My eyes scratched out. A notebook filled with names. Mine is last. Next to the word, carrier. Mary catches me. You can't stop him. He's older than God. Her tongue flicks, forked for just a second. I try to burn the candles, all of them. Desperate. Anything to stop this? But they don't melt. They grow taller. Flames, hissing my name. Mary stands in the hallway, chanting. Her feet, 6 inches off the floor. You're his vessel. Jamie, embrace it. I throw the knife. It stops midair. Then drops. The house shakes. Windows rattle. And from the basement, I hear Mom's voice. Let him in. It's not her anymore. Mary drags Mom down the basement steps. I follow, knife in hand, hands shaking. The salt circle glows, pulsing like a heartbeat. Mary kisses Mom's forehead, then mine, her lips, cold as death. She slices her palm. Blood drips into the salt. It hisses like acid. He is now. Mom's body jerks upward, glowing, blinding white. Something dark crawls from Mary's mouth, shaped like me, laughing. In my voice, the air reeks of rot. The light consumes Mom, her body gone in a flash. Mary screams. Her body splits open, down the middle. From the tear, something emerges, faceless, hands like roots, mouth stitched shut. It turns to me, and I feel it, inside my chest, clawing. I stab at it. The knife melts. It whispers, "You're mine." I black out. The house trembles. My scream, silent. I'm not alone in my skin anymore. They find me, days later, alone. In the kitchen, eyes white, whispering Latin. I don't understand. Mom's gone. Mary's gone. The house is empty. Candles burn to stubs. Every night since, I light new ones. Hands trembling. At 3:33 a.m., I pray. Because he's inside me, clawing, hungry. In the mirror, it's not my face smiling. It's Mary's. Then Mom's. Then his stitched mouth curling. I carry him now, and he's never leaving. I dropped her off at the motel lobby, just for snacks and ice. Emily smiled, said, "Be right back." That was 5 years ago. Tonight, my phone buzzed. A text from her number. "Meet me where we last kissed." I'm still waiting. In 2020, Emily and I were two 20-somethings chasing sunsets across the Southwest. We'd been together 2 years, Seattle creatives. Hooked on playlists, light on plans. That night, cruising through Nevada, she pointed at the Silver Star Motel, its neon sign flickering. "Stop here," she grinned. "It's got that haunted vibe. Perfect." We parked. Got room 6. I stayed in the car, checking maps. She kissed me through the window. "I'll be quick." She never came back. 10 minutes later, I walked into the lobby. It was still, dim lights, vending machines humming, an old TV muttering static. Emily's phone sat on the counter. Screen cracked. An unsent text. "Something's wrong." I froze. No staff, no guests. I pounded on every door. Room 7 cracked open. Some drunk yelled at me to get lost. The night clerk, a gaunt guy, name tag read cows, said she never came in. Cameras were just for show. Then he smiled, a smile that chilled my bones. Cops came, dogs, drones, nothing. The desert swallowed her. I stayed at that motel for months. Same room, same sheets. Her laughter haunted the wind. Reddit blew up. Podcasts spun theories. Trafficking. Aliens. A glitch in reality. But I knew something human took her, and it smiled at me. I kept her number active, just in case. Then, 5 years later, October 12th, 3:13 a.m., a text from Emily's number. Meet me where we last kissed. I'm still waiting. My heart stopped. On the road, a figure darted through my headlights. Too fast. I floored it, racing down Route 95 before dawn. The motel was still there. More broken. Sign barely glowing. A new clerk, a teenager, didn't look up from his phone. No record of Cal. No cameras. I stood in the lobby. Same smell. Same rug. Emily's ghost felt closer than ever. Then I saw it outside the window. A flickering light. Far off. Past the parking lot. Beyond the dunes. I followed the light. Each step felt heavier, like the air itself pushed me back. Past rusted cars and Joshua trees, I found it. An old trailer, half buried in sand. Windows boarded. Door ajar. The glow came from inside. The wind carried a faint country tune, one Emily used to hum. Inside, dust floated like ash. On the walls, Polaroids. Dozens. Emily smiling. Sleeping. Walking through the motel. Photos I never took. Then his voice, low, mocking. You're persistent. Jake. I like that. Cal. Older. Same sick glint in his eyes. Emily was special. Few fight like she did. He tossed me a key. She's still here. Wanna see? The key unlocked a trap door in the floor. Metal groaned as I pulled it open. A ladder led down. The stench hit first. Rot, rust, and grief. My flashlight flickered, but it caught something, a figure, slumped in a chair, hair over face, hands bound. Wearing Emily's hoodie. Emily, I whispered. No response. I stepped closer, heart pounding, trembling. I reached out, lifted the head. No eyes, no mouth, just wax. A mannequin, rotting clothes, fake skin. I stumbled back, panicking. Above, Cal slammed the trap door, bolts slid shut. His voice crackled through a hidden speaker. You're mine now, just like she was. I screamed until my voice broke. But then, my flashlight caught something on the wall. Jake. I escaped. Find me where the light stops. Days, weeks, months, I lost track. Darkness ate time. I scratched her name into the wall, then mine, then stopped counting. Sometimes, I heard Cal's footsteps above, drinking, humming. Sometimes, I heard Emily's voice, whispering, find me. Then, one night, sounds. Multiple footsteps. Tires. A door opening. A scream. A woman's voice. Then silence. But in my pocket, something cold. Cal's key. I'd kept it. And in the corner, a faint light flickered through a crack in the wall. A month later, a post appeared on X. Found a sealed trailer off Route 95. Trapdoor. Polaroids. Human hair. Cops won't talk. Dusty trail horror. Attached. A blurry photo of the trailer and a missing person report. Jake Harper. Last seen. Silver Star Motel. The post went viral. Podcasts. Theories. Deep dives. Some called it a hoax. Others stopped at that motel and felt watched. No one found Jake, or Emily, or Cal. But travelers on Route 95 still hear the wind whisper, I'm still waiting. It's 3 a.m., and my bathroom is so quiet I can hear my own heartbeat. Then I notice it a single black droplet crawling upward from the drain, defying gravity, like it's watching me. A voice, low and wet, hisses from the pipe. Evan, Evan, come closer. My name over and over, like it knows me better than I know myself. I should have walked away. I should have never leaned down to listen. What would you do if something in the dark whispered your name and knew every secret you buried? My name is Evan Carter. 6 months ago, I moved into a decaying ground floor apartment in Portland, Oregon. I told people I just needed space, that I was trying to simplify. But really, I was running, not from someone, from something I did. When I was 15, my little brother Tommy drowned in the Willamette River. We weren't supposed to be there. He was always afraid of the water, but I was tired of him being the soft one, the baby, so I dared him. Jump or I'm telling Mom you cried. I still hear my voice saying it playful, cruel, stupid. He jumped. He slipped. And when he screamed, I froze, not because I couldn't move, but because I didn't want to take the blame. I didn't even try to help. I just watched. Then I ran. Later. I told them he slipped. Told them he begged me not to jump in after him. Told them I tried. I buried the truth, and I've been living under it ever since. This apartment was supposed to be my escape. But from the moment I got here, it felt wrong. The walls groaned like something alive. The drain made sounds at night, not water. Breathing. And sometimes, I think it already knew. On my third night, the faucet sputtered and spat out a thick, black liquid that smelled like rot. I turned it off. But by morning, it was dripping again, pooling in the sink like ink. I called the landlord, but he just laughed it off, said the pipes were ancient. Then the noises started. Every night, around 2 the drain would hum, a low, rhythmic sound, like someone muttering underwater. At first, I thought it was nightmares about Tommy, but the sounds grew clearer, forming words, echoing my thoughts. One night, I was lying in bed, replaying the day Tommy died. How I froze as he screamed my name. The drain hissed back. You said it. Evan. Jump or I'm telling Mom. You watched him fall. And you ran. My heart stopped. I tore the bathroom apart, checking for leaks, rodents, anything. Nothing. I poured bleach down the drain, then drain cleaner, but the whispers only grew louder, angrier, like I'd provoked something. A week later, I woke up to find the mirror fogged over, even though I hadn't showered. Scratched into the steam were the words, "We see you." I moved the mirror to the living room, but the whispers followed. They came from the kitchen sink, the bathtub, even the air vents. They knew things. Things I had buried deep. Like how I lied to Mom, telling her I tried to save Tommy when I didn't move a muscle. What would you do if your house spoke your guilt back to you? By the second month, I was barely sleeping. The apartment felt alive, watching me. I started noticing details I'd missed. Symbols carved inside the sink. Jagged lines forming ancient patterns. I took photos, but they came out blurry, like the camera couldn't see them. Then one night, the whispers turned into screams. Guttural, inhuman wails that shook the walls. I found something floating up from the drain. A soggy scrap of paper, yellowed and stained. In smudged ink, it read, "Speak the name you fear most." My hands shook. I knew exactly what it meant. Tommy. I had spent years avoiding his name, as if saying it would bring him back, or worse, force me to face what I had done. The air grew heavy. The lights flickered. The whispers chanted. Say it. Say it! I couldn't stop myself. I leaned over the drain and whispered, Tommy. Then it all spilled out. I saw you drowning. Tommy, I heard you scream my name. I was too scared to jump in. I let you die. The apartment roared. The floor shook. Pipes groaned. And a scream louder than anything I had ever heard tore through every drain in the building. The lights went out. In the dark, something cold and wet brushed against my ankle, like a hand reaching up from the floor. I wasn't alone anymore. After that night, the apartment wasn't just a place anymore. Mirrors didn't work right. I'd catch glimpses of faces, not mine, twisted, waterlogged, with wide eyes and stretched, smiling mouths. They vanished when I blinked, but I could feel them watching. Black liquid started seeping from the walls, pulsing like veins, forming patterns that matched the sink's symbols. I tried to fight back. I smashed the pipes with a hammer, but the liquid kept coming, crawling toward me, like it was alive. I boarded up the bathroom, but the whispers leaked through the walls. They spoke in voices I knew. Mom's, Tommy's, even my own, mocking me. Then my memory started slipping away. First, it was little thing, the smell of Mom's cinnamon cookies, the sound of her singing me to sleep. Then bigger things. I couldn't picture Tommy's face anymore. His freckles, his crooked grin gone. I wrote notes to remember, but the words dissolved into black smears. One night, I woke up to find wet footprints circling my bed, leading back to the bathroom. I followed them. I saw hands, pale, bloated, webbed fingers, clawing from the drain. I tried to leave. I grabbed my keys, ran to the front door, but when I opened it, I was back in the bathroom, the drain gurgling my name. I tried the windows, the fire escape. Every exit led to that same sink. Those same symbols. The apartment wouldn't let me go. The whispers hissed. You're almost ready. One more, and the door will open. What door? I didn't want to find out. Last week, I stopped fighting. The apartment had won. I couldn't remember Mom's name, or the street I grew up on. I couldn't even remember why I was afraid. The whispers were all I had left, filling the void where my life used to be. Last night, I looked in the mirror. What was left of it? My face was gone. No eyes, no mouth. Just smooth, soft skin, like wet clay molding itself into nothing. Then I saw it. A single eye, not mine, opening in the center of my face. It was black, endless, like staring into a void that stared back. I tried to scream, but the sound came out as a wet hiss, chanting words I didn't understand. I wasn't Evan anymore. I was a shell, hollowed out for something ancient, something hungry. The whispers laughed, echoing from every pipe, every crack in the walls. You belong to us now. I realized what they meant by the door. It wasn't a place, it was me. They had carved me empty, to let something through, something older than this building, older than time. As I sat in the ruins of my apartment, I felt it moving inside me, heavy, cold, like water flooding my bones. This morning, the drain spoke one last time. Another one, ready. Footsteps echoed above me. Someone new moving into the apartment upstairs. Through the ceiling, I heard a faint sob, then a whisper. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Like me, they're running from something. Carrying a wound the apartment can smell. The drain started again, soft, hungry. What's your name? I don't know how many others this place has taken, how many shells it's carved before me, but I know it's not done. If you ever hear a sound from your drain, whispers, gurgles, anything, don't ignore it. Check your pipes. Look for symbols. Get out before it learns your name. Your apartment might be waiting, just like mine was. And trust me, you don't want to meet what's on the other side of the door.